What's going on, people, and welcome to another episode of Too Many Games. Yes, I'm flexing again. I'm feeling special again because we are going international. Yes, we're going to the other side of the pond again, and we are going to talk to a very creative individual. Now, he's not creative because he just plays games like me. No, he is the co-founder of Inner Hero Studios. He makes games. Yes, he is a game developer, and we're going to talk about his games, Fleets of Heroes. Thibaut, welcome to Too Many Games. How are you feeling today?
Hey Midas, thanks for having me. Doing well so far. The day's still young here, so I guess
What time is it?
It is 11:30 a.m. right now.
All right, so you've had your breakfast, had your coffee, you're feeling all right, you're ready to talk some games, yeah?
Coffee doesn't end, keeps going.
Love it. So how is quarantine treating you?
It's all right. I work from home, so it hasn't changed too much for me. But as far as, being stuck, can't really do much, go out. I think I feel the same as everybody else, right? Hasn't been that fun, but get to play a lot of games now, right?
Which is the greatest thing in life, when you get to play a lot of games. So on Too Many Games, I like to talk to people about games they're playing now they're in quarantine, because one of the biggest complaints of a gamer is that we just don't have enough time on our hands. But the reason why I wanted to speak to you was something very specific, because another complaint I have with a lot of friends that have families, that have children, is they don't have time to basically sit at a computer, sit at a console, and basically give hours of their time. So one of the things that have been taken over for the last few years is mobile gaming, and you've built a real-time strategy game on mobile. Tell us about Fleets of Hero.
So Fleets of Heroes, at its core, is a base builder. So you pretty much build a base. It's set in space, sci-fi themed. So along with your base, you also build a fleet of spaceships. And with the spaceships, we have a whole procedural system of modifications that you can add on to them, whether they're weapons such as ballistics, missiles, electricity, all that good stuff, shields, engines, a whole lot of stuff, making ships nice and fast and powerful. And and then attack bases. We also have a survival mode where you defend your own base instead of attacking one. You're inside your own base defending it. That's kind of the gist right there.
So one thing that I love about your game is, first of all, it's free to play, so it's easy access for anybody to be able to jump in. But the thing that really struck me is it's really easy to kind of do in the background. And that's nothing negative to say about the game, but it's fine to be able to watch a movie on Netflix while you're playing. It's
right.
Really, or if you're waiting for someone, you're waiting for, a lot of people on Too Many Games come late, I'll be waiting for someone, so I'll jump on and play a bit. Was that part of the strategy when you was creating Fleets?
Yeah, for sure. When you're designing more for a mobile game, you have to take that into consideration, right? That gamers aren't when you're developing a console game. Let me step back. You have a player's full attention. They're going to sit there for a long duration to play this console game or PC game, right? They're hooked into it, right? Whereas in a mobile game, they could be, walking by on the street, they could be in the bathroom, in between shower, who knows what. So you kind of have to cater to that short session based gaming, right? They could be in for a minute, they could be in for 30 minutes. Whereas developing games for a console or a PC, you have to take into account that they're probably going to sit there for at least an hour, right? So you don't really have to focus on a small session.
That's dope. So what made you decide that you wanted to make a game for the mobile audience? Because the mobile audience, to me, are so interesting, because there's so many people who don't consider themselves a gamer, who, if you said to them, oh, when's the last time you play a video game? They'll be like, oh, I ain't played video games in years. And then 5 minutes later, they'll be playing Candy Crush.
Right.
So what is it about that landscape that really interested you?
So the story starts way back when I was in college. It was kind of at the height of the App Store, I'd say around 2008 or 9, 2010, around there. And I really got intrigued looking at my iPhone, seeing all the games that were on there. I was studying engineering at the time, and I thought, hey, maybe I should try and make a game, right? And the barrier to entry is very easy. You don't really need much equipment. You just need your own phone. So I started making games for fun as a hobby, and that kind of evolved over time as I, added some people to my team, and we grew in Hero, and things evolved, and we just kind of got sucked into that whole genre of mobile. It's pretty intriguing. But yeah, it's that concept that the barrier to entry is low. You don't need much equipment, and everyone has a phone essentially, right? I could tell my mom or my grandma, like, hey, check this thing I built out. So, I send them a prototype. I couldn't, tell my grandma to play on her PlayStation 4. She probably doesn't have one, right? So just that whole thing just, intrigued me at first. And especially since the App Store was growing large at that time, that's when we really got sucked into it.
That's dope. Why space? Are you a bit of a Trekkie?
Yeah, I like space, yeah. It's just the concept of infinity and looking out there, just there's endless potential. So having that as the foundation of the game, has a lot of potential to do anything you want, right? That's why a lot of space games, are on the sci-fi theme, not really more fantasy, I guess they could be fantasy, space fantasy. But yeah, just that concept of endless potential.
That's dope. So, too many games. You've got extra time on your hand. Probably not because you're working from home anyway. But the little bit of extra time you've got on your hands, what have you been playing?
So, recently, me and my friends have been getting down on Call of Duty, Modern Warfare, Warzone, multiplayer, all that good stuff. I'm actually working on my Obsidian skin right now, which is a long drive. I'm getting close. But yeah, Warzone's mainly what we've been playing.
So you've been up in the gulag, fighting your way back onto the game.
Sometimes not. Sometimes you get stuck in there,
I really like that concept within Call of Duty. I think what's really good about Warzone is being able to, that battle royale thing has been obviously done a lot of times, and a lot Fortnite's kind of taken the world away with it, and them adding those like simple concepts really takes it to another level. Now obviously the way COD looks and the way Fleets looks is two completely different stylized games. But when you're playing games like COD, does that give you inspiration for your game or any games that you want to go forward in the future?
Yeah, game development is a very artistic thing, right? So you're constantly looking for inspiration, just like any artist would. So, when we're playing games, you get inspired, right? Whether it's, the way an icon was designed, or a gradient, or just anything, a mechanic, just there's inspiration everywhere, right? So yeah, you pick up things from all these games and you just kind of get stuck in your brain, right? And then slowly you piece together all these things and you're like, hey, I have a new idea. So yeah, definitely playing games is a large inspiration. And we do want to get into console gaming, PC gaming in the future.
Dope. I love that. So if somebody's never played Fleets before and they've got some extra time on their hands, why do you think it needs to be a game that they need to put straight away in front of their backlog? They got loads of backlog, but they need to play this now. Why do they need to get straight onto Fleets of Heroes?
Well, first of all, it's free, so it's not much to lose. You get the download, try it out. It's easy to play. Like you said, it doesn't take much of your attention. So you could, play a minute now and then put it away and then pick it up a few days later, put a few more minutes in. It's passive style gameplay, right? Yeah, why not?
Why not? It's a good game. You definitely should. So what is in your backlog? What is in your long backlog of games that you really want to get back into?
Witcher 3, I actually never played it, so I did get it recently, and I started it up. I just started playing, but Warzone's kind of been taking us over for a little bit, so I kind of had to put that on the backlog.
So The Witcher 3 is a incredible game. And I remember when we spoke before, you said that you really like Skyrim. So I'm assuming you like that aesthetic. Geralt is such a cool protag. Really, really cool protagonist. Have you watched the Netflix series?
I have not. No, I've heard great things about it, yeah.
Yeah,
Still haven't watched it.
Yeah, you definitely should watch it because it kind of helps you with the lore and it really kind of drags you into knowing who their characters are. And it doesn't spoil anything from the game because it's like years before the games come out. So it's definitely one that you should jump onto. Like, you'll love Geralt. And you never know, the next Fleets game could be a fantasy game.
It might.
All right.
Fantasy.
So, what game do you recommend I should play while I'm in quarantine?
Feats of Heroes.
Yeah, it's simple, innit? Silly question, and I'm playing it as it is. So, I've got one more question for you before you leave me. What's really important to me is like being able to give advice to people who are within like similar industries, and I think there's a lot of people who really love the thought of building their own game, but because they haven't gone to university to kind of study how to do it, they're kind of just like, nope, I don't get it, like it's too far-fetched, I couldn't do this. What advice would you give to someone that's really interested in being able to create their own game?
Well, I mean, I believe anybody can build games, right? So the largest tool we have today is the internet. So if you go on to Google and you type in how to make a game, I'm sure you'll find billions of links, right, going all over the internet. So you'll find lots of tutorials. There's lots of engines to pick from, Unreal, Unity, all that good stuff. So yeah, I mean, start simple, right? Follow a few tutorials, pick an engine you want to go with, and just make sure that your first goal is simple, you know, like a Flappy Bird type game, something like that. Don't expect to build, you know, a large story-based open world just for your first game. Just pick something that you can finish. That's important, right? You want to complete your first project.
Yeah, I love that. So before you leave me, what is the future plans for Inner Hero Studios?
So we want to, in the future, get into virtual reality and augmented reality. We do feel that that's a big part of the future in gaming and outside of gaming as well. So virtual reality, augmented reality, and then Unreal Engine 5, you know, has just released a few sneak peeks. So we're very excited about Unreal Engine 5 coming out and taking full advantage of all those graphics powers.
Tell me your mind wasn't blown when you saw that Unreal Engine 5 demo.
Right. I saw some comments saying that it's not real, but it's unreal, right?
Yeah, there, exactly. It's in the name. It's unreal.
Thank you. I was very impressed.
Yeah, it just looks immaculate. That's the first time I've seen something that feels next gen to me.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great.
It's funny because I'm not a big fan of VR, but I love AR, and I think AR is going to be such an important step for people's lives in the future.
Oh yeah, I don't think virtual reality will be as big of a thing in the near future as augmented reality. I think augmented reality will hit us like mobile phones did. You know, going back 10, 20 years ago, nobody really had a smartphone or a mobile phone. And today, nobody really has augmented reality. So in the future, I think it'll hit us like that, where we just all are using augmented reality every day of our lives, right? So.
Dope. Well, thank you so much for joining us on an episode of Too Many Games. Make sure you go download Fleets of Heroes right now. You can get it on your Android. You can get it on your Apple device. It's there for you. You need to play this game. I've been Mr. Midas. This is Inner Hero Studios. We out.